To hear about the practice fight between Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr in the upcoming episode of The Last Dance. Steve Kerr said that moment isn't something he is proud of and is a little self-conscious that it's being revisited. So, Shannon, what did this incident tell you about Michael Jordan?
It told me that Michael Jordan was a bully. He used his position as being the best player. He used his position as being the team leader and to bully guys. And Steve Kerr probably had enough of it. And he punched him in his chest, and Jordan punched him back. That's what it tells me about Michael Jordan. And Michael was a guy, and he's like most bullies. Skip, if I go to school every day and I allow someone to take my lunch or allow someone to take my money that I brought to purchase lunch with, if I allow that to happen and allow it to happen and go unchecked, it will continue to happen. So Steve Kerr just finally had enough, and he stood up for himself. Now, I don't believe they got into another confrontation, but that was what he had to take. Sometimes you have to take an ass cutting in order to gain someone respect. And I believe that's what Steve Kerr did. But Michael Jordan went to call O'Shea to apologize. Wouldn't have been nothing to apologize for, because I'd have tore him up, Jenny. I hope, look, you need an interior designer? Because I'm good at moving furniture. We're going to rearrange some furniture up in here. And Skip, you know, Mike, see, this, the problem that I got with you, Skip Bayless, you hate bullies. You hate that. And you tell me, well, I don't defend what Michael doing, but I understand, and the end result, damn an end result. The end result is that we fighting every day. Skip, me and my brother used to play basketball. We used to play sports every day. We played every day until I could consistently beat him. And when I could consistently beat him, guess what happens, Skip? We stopped playing. That's how I'm going to do Mike. That's how Mike is that type of guy, Skip. You got to fight him every day until you can consistently whip his butt. Now, between he and Steve said, I had enough of you doing all this stuff, and he punched Mike in the chest. That was first mistake. You don't punch no man in no chest. You dot that eye. That's what he should have done. You know Mike was a bully, and he tried to bully them guys with his position. Mike didn't really want to fight, but they knew if they swung on Mike, they were going to be up out of there. But I got to go, because we're going to rearrange some furniture up in here. You're not finna bully me.
Okay. The only man Michael Jordan has ever bullied was from a distance, and it's your guy, LeBron James. He bullies him because he's clearly the GOAT. You know it, and LeBron knows it, and the world really knows it. That's distant bullying. That's like social distance bullying. Social media bullying. Shannon, he wasn't a bully. He was a leader.
Yes, he was.
This is the way he led. This is like General Patton led. This is where you let nobody beneath you see any sign of weakness. You're going to show them that nobody is going to challenge you or push you around or get away with any gray area defending, even in practice, because practice is like a game Game 7 to Michael Jordan, the most psycho-driven competitor in the history of sports. It's why this team went 6-0 in the finals and why he won 6 MVPs. And all those guys that had any bitterness toward Michael from practice or plane ride incidents, they were thankful he was on their side in playoff games, because the guy who inspired and led by fear also struck fear into the hearts of the opposition. If you want to tell me he bullied the opposition, I'll give you that. But let's put into context what happened. Steve Kerr and Will Perdue in practice, they pushed Michael until he warned both of them, and they pushed again, and they paid for it. He's not going to take it from anybody, even a teammate, even a little white teammate named Steve Kerr. If you push on him and beat on him and gray area foul him, and Phil Jackson has the whistle in his mouth in a practice scrimmage and he won't blow the whistle, and finally you warn Steve Kerr, and then Steve Kerr goes completely over the edge and shoves you in the chest, yeah, you're going to get a fist right back in the jaw. I don't think he hurt Steve Kerr. It wasn't some crazy football practice episode like we've seen where guys got hurt in practice. He punched him. He blacked his eye, I guess it was. He had a little black eye. Yeah. But Will Perdue did the same thing. He's not going to take it from the big, white, stiff of a center. He's not going to get away with this. Yeah. He was setting hard picks on Michael in a practice scrimmage. And Michael said, I warn you, don't set an illegal pick on me again. It was an offensive foul of a pick. And Phil wouldn't blow the whistle, and Will Perdue said it again, and this guy's 7 feet tall, and he got jacked in the jaw. And it said, back off, you stepped over the line. And again, Michael led by fear, not love, but by fear.
Let me ask you a question. So good, I'm glad you say that. Michael, you pulled that bull job again. I'm going to bust you in your jaw. You see how that works, Skip Bayless? So in other words, Michael can say, don't do that, and everything we're supposed to stop. But if I tell Michael don't do that, he keep it going because he's leading. One thing Horace Grant wanted me to make abundantly clear to you and everybody else. Michael Jordan was a hell of a basketball player, a great basketball player. He said, but missed me with mine.
He was one of the greatest leaders sports has ever seen. He just didn't do it with love the way... Go ahead.
Skip, fighting so in other words, Mike Tyson is a great leader because he can fight. Floyd Mayweather is a great leader. Skip, just because Skip, a lot of times only thing people think about bullying is I take something, I use force. You can use your position, you can use your title to also bully people. Because if I'm in constantly threat of my job, because of the position or the title that you have, that's also bullying. Steve Kerr, shoved him. It's like, man, enough is enough. But like I said, that's how you got to treat you have to do that to Michael. You got to meet force with force because that's all he understands. Skip, that's it. Michael Jordan is not the coach.
Okay.
Michael Jordan is not the owner. He might be the greatest player, but he has the same title as I have, player.
You keep trying to project yourself onto the 98 Chicago Bulls or 97 or 96. Shannon, you weren't there. It wasn't you. It was Will Perdue and Steve Kerr. And it was Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen. They weren't you. And they weren't going to fight back because this man was the baddest man on the planet. And again, Tom Brady motivates with love. He will verbally shred people during games and practices, but mostly he inspires love from his teammates. LeBron inspires love from his teammates. He's a lover, not a fighter. Jordan led by fear. He motivated by fear. They were afraid of him just as the opposition was afraid of him. This wasn't church league. This wasn't YMCA basketball. This was for NBA history and legacy. And he drove everybody around him to max it out. And they did. They went 6-0 in finals with 6 MVPs. And they all got down on their knees at the end of those championship runs and were thankful that they got to play with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. It wasn't pretty, Shannon. He was ruthless. He was heartless. He was cold-blooded. And he was the greatest competitor in the history of sports. All I know is the outcome was the outcome. You can argue all you want. You can shred all you want of the method that he got there, but you cannot criticize the outcome. The outcome was greatest ever, period, end of story.
Skip, you can motivate by fear, you can motivate by reward, but the only motivation that's sustainable is self-motivation. Now, this notion, Skip, that because remember, Skip, when Michael Jordan left, Horace Grant went to the NBA All-Star game. He did do that. And then he went to the Lakers without Michael Jordan and won another NBA title. These guys are very self-motivated, Skip. You don't get to this level, Skip, without being self-motivated. All I'm saying is, Skip, I understand I wasn't there, but I'm saying I understand how to deal with people like Michael. is that, bruh, like he told Steve Kerr, don't do it again. Like he told Will Perdue, don't do it again. That's the only message I'm telling him. Don't do that again, bruh. Other than that, that's it. We ain't got to go back and forth, round and round. Let's just go ahead and move this furniture. And then we're going to sell it, and then everything will be okay. We won't have that problem. Skip, do you actually think I would let John Elway